Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Cooking with Auntie Sonia. This one here is going to be a doozy. I am getting ready to make sweet potato greens with baked sweet potatoes. Now, the sweet potato greens, a lot of people don't know that you can actually eat the leaves of the sweet potato. So I'm gonna make some sauteed sweet potato greens with baked potatoes. Pan over to my sweet potato patch. So this is my backyard garden, and I've been growing sweet potatoes, and I am going to harvest a couple of the leaves to use for my sweet potato, sauteed sweet potatoes. And these are just coming up, so I don't want to harvest too many, but I am going to go ahead and take these off here so that I have some stem with it. I'm gonna grab some over here. I'm gonna leave that vine. Look how beautiful it is. No bug bites, no anything. So let me get down here. Let's see. Ooh, here's some nice ones down here. Are you zooming in, Naj? Get some nice ones. Nice little harvest here. The sweet potato greens has so many vitamins and so many nutritious elements in there, and I'll tell you guys all about it in the write-up when you watch the video. But you actually can get 3 times more the vitamin C from the leaves than from the sweet potatoes. How amazing is that? Many of you don't probably know much about sweet potatoes, so let me just show them a little bit about sweet potatoes. So this is my makeshift trellis. So if you look, these are the tubers right here. If you look in here, so these are what the sweet potatoes are growing off of, right down in there. So I'm hopefully gonna get a nice batch of sweet potatoes. Right in here are my tubers, and it's going deep, deep down, going in there deep. And then what happens is it begins to run, and when it runs, it produces these leaves. And if I let these leaves go, this will take over the whole patio. So I made a trellis so that it doesn't run all the way all over the place. So I'm harvesting it probably a little bit early, but it's all right. In Asia, they actually stir fry this. But tonight I'm gonna do a little saute with onions and garlic and so forth. So I'll get back to you once I get ready to saute. Alrighty? Let's catch up with you in a minute. Welcome back again. So I've cut my leaves, my sweet potato leaves. I harvested them and brought them inside. And what I did was I put a little bit of salt, not a little bit, but a good amount of salt in the water with the leaves, so that any kind of bugs, and there really aren't many bugs on my vegetables because they're in a enclosed patio, but you can see probably little aphids, these little white ones. Let me see if I can see. They come right off in the water if you can see it. And the salt water is harsh, so any kind of bugs or whatever, little worms that may be in there, it'll take it off. So I'm gonna let it sit a little bit in the salt water so any little icky can be right off. And then I'm gonna start my cooking. I'm gonna start the cooking, and it's going to be delicious. I can already taste it, and I've never had the greens before, so we're doing this together. See you in a few. Simply put, we're going to do some simple baked sweet potatoes, and I'm adding a little kick to it. I'm putting a little bit of chili oil in there to give it a nice little sweet kiss. Ha! Almost had an accident there. So we just drizzle, little drizzle. And then, you want to love on the sweet potatoes and make sure everybody gets a little bit of love. Just rub them up, give them a little bit of love. Just a tad bit, a little something, something. And we are going to stick them in the oven at 350 to make sure they get a nice bake. And I made sure I cut them nice and thin. So these sweet potatoes did not come from my garden. They came from Publix. So these are Publix sweet potatoes. My potatoes won't be ready until about September, right around my birthday time. Anyway, so we're gonna stick this in the oven and I'll be back again because we're gonna saute those leaves. Can you just imagine these delicious leaves sitting sauteed on top of that sweet potato? I can already taste it. It's going to be delicious. See you in a minute. So we're cutting up our greens. Some people do it whole, but I don't like those big thick leaves when I'm trying to eat sauteed vegetables. So I'm gonna actually cut it up. This reminds me of how we cut callaloo in Jamaica. Put that kitchen scissors to use. Or you could just put it on the board and chop it up. Don't have a lot, so it'll have to do though.
What's this?
This is basil from my garden. So we're gonna add a little bit of basil to it. So get those basil leaves snipped off. Oh, that thing smells, smell it. See that? Smell it. Smells so good. Sweet basil. And then I'm gonna actually add onions and garlic to this.
Scrum-diddly-yum-shire.
Sure enough is. Potatoes are baking. All right, be back in a minute. So we're getting ready to saute our sweet potato greens, but it's the leaves. But they call it the green, which it is. So I'm gonna let my onions and my garlic, not gonna burn them, I'm gonna have them get a little bit translucent. And I did them a little chunky because I don't have a lot of greens. I'm not gonna add a lot of seasoning to this. The onions, the garlic, what's going on over here? The onions, the garlic, and a little bit of soy sauce, give it a little Asian flavor. So that's about 2 teaspoons right there. Not teaspoons, I apologize, tablespoons right there. Not even, that wasn't even 2, that was about 1.5 tablespoons. That smells delicious. And then I'm gonna add my favorite here. This is actually, that will be a teaspoon, and then another teaspoon. See?
Flavor
going on. Can you see through the smoke?
Sure can.
And I'm not gonna put much, I'm not gonna put any salt and all of that in there because the soy sauce already has a salty flavor. And so now they're almost to the point of where I like them to be. And here goes my sweet potato greens. So if you have sweet potatoes in your yard, go out there and chop those leaves off and cut them up and saute them.
It's so vibrant green.
Yes. That's exactly how we want them to be.
The basil smells very good.
Yes. You know they're going to shrink. So we're going to turn the stove down to medium. We're going to mix them in with our onions and our garlic. Just like you would do your spinach. If you're sauteing your spinach. So if you have sweet potatoes in your yard, just know that the sweet potatoes themselves are delicious, but also absolutely delicious and nutritious are the leaves of the sweet potato. And as you can see here, I didn't cut a whole lot. As you saw earlier in the video, I stated that I just started them, so I didn't want to reap all of my leaves. I got to eat tomorrow. Yeah. So I'm going to cover it and let it saute a little bit more. I may even just turn the stove off and let it just cook in the heat, because I really don't want it too cooked and mushy. I want the vines, as you can see, let me pull one up, to still have a little bit of crunch right there. Put it up here. They can't hear that crunch.
I heard it.
So I have more onions than greens because it's shrunk, but it's all right. So we're gonna just let that go ahead and saute just a little bit more, and then I'll see you in a bit with the sweet potatoes and the sweet potato greens. Here we have it, ladies and gentlemen, our sweet potato greens. With our baked sweet potatoes. So you can have a nutritious meal with the sweet potato, because the sweet potato itself is yum delicious, and the greens of the sweet potatoes are absolutely delicious and nutritious. Now, remember to try it and tag me when you do. Thank you for watching. Please make sure to subscribe, like, and tell your friend about it. Yum, yum.